Okay. Um, so what do you think the biggest challenge that she's faced so far is?
Let's see, the biggest challenge Cari has faced. There have been many. Boy, it's tough to say. I think it's being able to carry on as normal of a life as possible, given how much your life has changed. I mean, like I say, it's not something that goes away, and it it's just very tough. Just to see her have to struggle with the anxiety of my upcoming testing, and how's that going to change and alter things going forward, and um, it's a challenge for her. I mean, and you want to, like, reach over and just hug her and say it's going to be okay, but it's you don't know. It may not be okay. Sometimes. So um, that's challenging for her. I mean, honestly, it's life altering, and um, she should be really proud to have come as far as she has and to be in the position she's in.
Is there, I don't know if you're, but is there research going on about getting a cure, or is anything that you're aware of, or?
Cari would probably know more than I do, to be honest, about that. And there's tons of research. We know that they're doing lots of research. She's been to NIH in Bethesda, Maryland, and they've done studies on her. Her condition was really unusual because she didn't have the mutations in her genes that are typically known to have caused this condition. So, clinically, when the doctors are looking at it, they're saying, this looks like von Hippel-Lindau, but then they do the testing and they say, but she doesn't have the mutation that we typically see with this condition. But then they did find a mutation that was different, and so I remember the doctor saying, "Well, we can't really, we're not saying you have it, but we think it might be." And then over time, finally, okay, yes, you definitely have it, and we're adding your mutation to the list of mutations that people who have this condition can have. So, she's like the first of many who she's been a champion for research, and I think not only for herself but for other people who have her. She's sympathetic to other people who are in her shoes because she knows more than anybody what the emotion is and how it. I mean, it just turns your life completely upside down, and all the different aspects that you have to deal with. So.
What do you think is most inspiring about her?
Well, gosh, uh, I think her ability to go on with her life. I mean, and to still have fun. She's been able to just. I think at the beginning years of this condition, it seemed like, I mean, really it consumed her, to the point where I don't know. My interaction is somewhat limited, but it just seemed in our interactions. I mean, her life was consumed by the condition. But then over time, I know she's been able to you know continue education. She's been able to get a job. She's been able to get really involved in this ballroom dancing. And when you see her dance, I mean, and you look at their brain scans, it's you think it's just impossible. How can somebody do these moves with this tumor in an area of the brain that's supposed to make you dizzy and not able to stand up, and that kind of stuff is amazing. And to be able to have her daughters with her, and I know they're extremely close, and she cares for them and looks out for them all the time.
Okay, so this is another question where we won't mention the disease. Just what's Carrie like as a person from your experiences?
Cari, she can be intense. When she's confronted with a problem, she is in intense. She's not going to let it slide. She's going to research it to the nth degree. She's going to go to the best doctors in the world to get the answer she wants. Um, so I'd say she's tenacious when it comes to uh, you know taking care of herself, taking care of her family. Um, she's, like I said in, other statements, she's just a champion for the condition. She's human, she has all the emotions we all do, but, she definitely has moments of anxiety and feeling overwhelmed and, feeling like she's down in the dumps, but then there's times when she rises and, is able to conquer all this stuff and handle all this stress and, just be awesome with it, so.
Was there anything else you guys discussed? Because I don't know what you guys talked about. If there's anything else you wanted him to say specifically.
What were your thoughts when you found out Alyssa had tumors, that my youngest? I mean,
certainly sadness, because I know how it's affected Carrie's life. I'm sorry, was I supposed to not say Carrie? Or no,
No, that's fine.
that's good.
Okay. So,
But let's take that back to the beginning anyway, because we're not going to have like our voices in it. So just kind of say like when we found out Alyssa had.
okay,
Yeah.
sure. Okay, when we found out Alyssa had von HIPPEL LINDAU, it was a sad day. I think Cari, was upset about it. I think there's some sense of guilt just thinking you've had this condition, passing it on to your child, and there's concerns because how much it's affected your life, and you want your daughters to not have to deal with this kind of stress, and unfortunately she's going to have to. But by the same token, I think we have hope because of people like Cari who've championed the condition and all the research going on. I think we're certainly optimistic that her prognosis going forward will be good. We know about the condition, so she can be monitored from the start as opposed to having something bad happen and then finding out about it. So I'm pretty hopeful that being on top of it and monitoring it closely, she's going to be able to avoid big complications down the road because the doctors will be able to treat her as things pop up. And hopefully they won't. You never know. It varies so much. She may not have to go through near the things that her mom has, so we're keeping our fingers crossed.
How did you feel when Cari decided she wanted to write a book about all this, and then decided she wanted to do a documentary about it?
Oh, I didn't know she was going to write a book. I think she just told me, oh, by the way, I wrote a book and I published it. And then here's, like she sent me the link, and then she brought one by, and I've been showing all my people in the office. Everybody's like, I go, oh yeah, I got a patient author. She's writing books. So it's inspiring. It really is. It's inspiring. And then she had this idea of maybe having some sort of a documentary or movie made about her. I think there was some talk about the Lifetime channel or something like that coming in, and I thought it would be great. I thought she's got a great story to tell, and I think she's an inspiration to people, and anything that she can do to inspire other people who have bad medical conditions, it's fantastic. So she's inspiring to a lot of people, including me, her doctor.
tenacious is the right word.
Tenacious, yeah.
He describes me very well. I can be very tenacious and
Oh,
go
man.
after something.
She gets her mind set on something. She is, yeah.
Good words. I like that.
Is there any other questions you wanted to ask, or?
I think we covered the main things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there just any other stories or anything you wanted to share about Cari?
Let me think. Think of some specific instances or things. It's been boy, I tell you, it's amazing. When you say 15 years, until you said it today, I really hadn't thought. I'm trying to think how long it's been, but man, it's.
Well, I was 26 when we met you, and I'm 42.
God, I'm not gonna tell you how old I am, right? So, I think we've covered most things. Yeah,
It's not really his specialty.
Yeah.
He's actually been a very important part of my life for the last 15 years. So I definitely appreciate him being a part of the documentary. I kind of feel like it started with him, even though it had nothing to do with him
Yeah.
in any way, because I was it literally got hit right after the pregnancy, so I might connect that to him a little bit. But has nothing to do with him, but yet he's been very caring
Mhm.
and understanding for the last 15 years. So even though it's not his specialty, I can talk to him
Mhm.
about it, and he'll listen. Sometimes I feel like I'm in his office too long, and I'm like, I better keep going. He's got other patients, but yeah, there's times where I talk probably too much, and other times I'm like trying to be polite and just get out of the way. No, but he makes me feel comfortable. So I think we covered,
Okay.
from his
She's-
perspective,
She's been a great, we have medical
Yeah.
students, that come through and
Yeah.
rotate with us, and so her case is just a great learning case, so I don't mention her name, obviously, for HIPAA,
Yeah.
rules and regulations, but we'll say, hey, I had this patient, and this is, years ago, and this is what happened, and this is what they found, what do you think, and it's amazing, there are a few that say von HIPPEL LINDAU, because, when I was in medical school, I don't think it was even mentioned, that's how rare it is.
Yeah.
But it has become much more common, and not that it's a common disease, but I think it's been brought to the forefront more
200,000 people.
because
in
of
the world.
because of like you. You're like,
Yeah.
she's out there like
Very much
in the involved in the
public
national
eye.
organizations, and really has been a champion for the condition, and
Now I'm doing
awareness
public
is-
speaking now.
and she's doing public speaking and
Mhm.
dancing and motivational speaker. You're in the paper, being motivational speaker and things
Yeah.
like that. So
Carolyn's, yeah.
just it's been an incredible life. It's been-
I always say VHL means very hard life, but it also means very happy life.
well, yeah, that's a
Because
good point to think. Yeah, you think about
It is tough, but
mean,
it's also a good life.
right. It's changed you. But it's kind of made you who you are,
Yeah.
today. And it's gosh, imagine how you've matured. I've seen it, over the years. It's been a hard way to mature. There's different ways of going about life, and being diagnosed with a bad condition is a tough way to go. But just to see somebody so I don't know if naive's the right word, but I guess innocent maybe. At her age when she first had to deal with this, it's heartbreaking. Really to see somebody that young, and then like all this stuff is like crashing in on her, and then I think you've got these thoughts about her mom, and then that brings up a whole new slew of questions. And I think in the book, it talks about how the doctors were ignoring her mom, and she's just crazy, and just it's a headache, leave it alone. And and that just opens up a whole new can of worms, and a lot of sores. And I don't think she ever really was able to have a mother like she's been able to be for her daughters, and so it's emotional.
Okay.
Very good.
Emotional for me just talking about it. I'm getting teary. So,
Well, that brings up an idea. I always have ideas.
okay.
Yeah. So yesterday, well,
Let's pause for a second.